Right, welcome back. Thanks for staying on live with you tonight. You're on In Focus. The Wits University Student Representative Council has launched a cleanup campaign to raise funds for students with historical debt. The SRC says about 14,000 students are unable to register for the 2023 academic year because of outstanding debt. For more on this, we are now joined by Wits SRC representative, who is Karabo Matloga. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for inviting me to your show.
When we look at the curve of student debt at Wits, CUT, any other place, nationally, let's talk about it. Is the situation getting better or is the situation getting worse?
The situation is not getting any better, especially with the price increase within university. Fees increase yearly, accommodation prices increase yearly, so the situation is not getting any better. And especially with the current crisis we have with NSFAS, students are getting into more debt as a result of being defunded by NSFAS.
Yeah. What is this crisis? Tell me about it. Why are students getting defunded?
So I really do not understand the NSFAS system. Like every day we are getting a student showing us proof that my mom is earning less than 350k, but NSFAS has taken a decision to defund you simply because your parent is working for government. So the crisis is really bad. Yeah. I don't even know how to explain because it makes me so emotional. So in the SRC I deal with the accommodation. As a result of the funding of NSFAS, we have a whole lot of students who are becoming homeless daily. The list is getting to 1,000. Next week we're expecting more students to be flocking into the offices.
Yeah, let's look at the 14,000 that you're talking about currently in this financial year. Altogether, how much are they owing?
When we went to the university to request that in January, the debt was close to 350 million. Perhaps it may have decreased. Some parents had to sell their cars, homes. Some went to mashonisas, for instance, especially parents from the township who had to make a plan. I had a parent calling me to say, look, I've sold my car because I'm really stressed about my kid, so the only solution is to sell what we have at home.
That's quite a number that you would need to raise to be able to settle that. How is the SRC planning to tackle that big elephant?
So we are planning to raise approximately 20 million or probably more. The university has agreed to match rent per rent. So if we raise 6 million, you'll also donate 6 million. We started the initiative Show City Love on Valentine's Day, hoping that more people will be donating. We are not excluding anyone from the donations. We've publicized the banking details, so anyone can simply donate any amount because any amount that you add could make a change to someone's fees. Because in the institution, as much as they have hardship fund, which they say is a response to student debt, but if you owe 120,000 rands and then they pay up to 50,000 rands of your debt, you still have to pay the 10,000 rands because they require 50% of the funds.
Right.
So the SRC is raising funds in order to be able to settle that difference.
So what is the private sector saying to this? I mean, are you knocking at their doors? Are you raising these issues with the private sector because they've got deeper pockets as opposed to be able to assist, especially if they are interested in raising the capacity of those learners in terms of skills that would benefit the economy of the country?
I think the private sector is solemnly pledging more support to our programs. I know last year the last SRC was able to raise approximately 12 million. I've seen it through my eyes. It was beneficial to the students. They were able to register. Some were able to get accommodation, which the university provides for free. But it's an SRC-led initiative most of the time. Right. Because I think the SRC has always been subjected to be the university. We deal with issues that the university is really failing to deal with.
Yeah, yeah. So somebody listening to us right now that not particularly in the private sector, but maybe in their own space, that would want to assist in this particular initiative. Tell me about the activation and the mechanics of it. How does it work?
So if you are interested in donating, and we are not excluding anyone from this fund because we've realized that we've always focused on the private sector. As much as they can donate the big million rands, if we include the entire South Africa into solving this crisis, perhaps it will be more beneficial. So how they get involved is they can go to our social media platforms, our Instagram page, our Twitter page. We've publicized the account. So when you donate the funds, you must write Century of Inclusion. and then the university will know those funds are supposed to be directed towards the SRC fund.
Okay, so the details you're saying that you put there are actually details that go to the university directly?
Yeah, they go to the university directly, but it's our money.
Okay, so it goes direct to the university coffers. But repeat that reference. It's important again that we get that.
Century of Inclusion is the hashtag that we are using, because we believe that the last century it's been exclusionary. So this year we are changing the narrative. It's a century of inclusion, and we are going to be exploring different mechanisms into solving student debt within South Africa, as well as the accommodation crisis which we are facing. Touch
on that a little bit. Explore for me what other, especially in the area of your interest in accommodation, what other initiatives could possibly be tapped into that could assist?
I think our government has to be strict, especially with external residencies. We really have to cap the prices. External residencies, which are in the private sector, have taken advantage of students. You'll find a small room, a really small room like this area, being 6,200 rands per month.
Sure.
So I think if government can start acting, the Department of Higher Education playing an active role in capping the prices that accommodations are using, that it could make a huge difference. So the other crisis is that we have shortage of beds within universities as a result of the universities calling for online learning to not be a thing anymore. So right now everyone is supposed to be in class, contact, you have to attend all your tutorials. We don't have enough beds, and the university is not providing a solution as well. So yeah.
I heard the Minister of Higher Education the other day announcing some figures pointing to an increase in what they are allocating, for example, to university students as far as accommodation and other resources are concerned. Do those go far enough?
No. The minister did not really consider the location when we're setting up the price. Last year it was 45,000. As I've mentioned, most residences start from 55,000, 60,000 rands, and I'm including sharing rooms. Those are sharing rooms. So when the minister was setting up the price, he was being exclusionary of universities like Wits, UCT, UP, in which they are located in the inner city of Johannesburg, where everything is just expensive.
How does that happen? I mean, is it a lack of consultation? Because it's a simple thing. I mean, I suppose the minister could just come and have a meeting with the student body and say what is the situation, or even with the industry itself, and understand what the pricing is.
Lack of consultation. They just decide alone in the boardroom, and then we all have to follow them, because we've been fighting in the briefings that they've had with universities, trying to explain the policies. We've always challenged this, because they never consulted with student leaders at all. And I believe that student leaders are the first point in which government should be going into to understand student issues, because students knock on our doors. Every day, in my office when I left, there are bags. I have to find someone in accommodation tomorrow, and I really don't know what am I going to do. So it means I have to go out on my own, negotiate, try, raise funds, make deals here and there. So it's really unfair.
Yeah. And you're saying that should be a university problem, not an SRC problem?
Well, a student representative, but I feel as if the university must actually be part of this process and support all these initiatives, and not exclude themselves to say, look, we've given you this amount, you must go see for yourselves what must happen.
Yeah. Why have you taken to take this route, chosen to take this route? Because, for example, the other students in the Western Cape have decided to do a shutdown. You have decided to fundraise, you have decided to come up with other alternatives. Why have you decided to take that route?
So in the past, Wits has always been known for protesting, but this year we've decided that, you know what, let's try to explore other routes, and should they fail, then a protest would be the last resort. So our stance as the SRC is that let's explore all the other available alternatives, and then we take it to the streets should we fail. Right now we are fundraising funds. Our registration is closing on Friday, but we've sent an email to the university to extend registration to March. And they should be able to support us if they really are for students in this case.
So that's part of the cause that you're making. You're saying don't close the registration on Friday, extend it to March. We'll put in some effort ourselves to fundraise and find other alternatives, but meet us halfway and work along with us.
Yes.
All right. No, that's fantastic. Karabo, thank you very much for coming along. He is the Wits SRC representative, and they're calling on the broader South African community to also join in, not just the private sector, but do your bit as well in assisting those students who are currently being excluded through their historical debt.